Good morning. Today is Tech 2. In fact, Tech 2 for the particular presentation I did yesterday. So I think missed out something. So I present it again in a better way. Yeah, today, 1st of August 2019, topic of presentation is becoming an estate agent. So a lot of time people tends to ask about the methods and how to study or to qualify as an estate agent. So this presentation is not about qualifying for career agent or qualifying for a service agent or some sort of the other types of illegal or freelance agent. So this is a presentation for officially qualifying as a real estate agent. In the law, it's called registered estate agent. So let us go in. This is the chart that I think summarizes the whole process from the beginning until the end. So roughly, the journey takes about 6 to 8 years. Some people do it in 6, some people do it in 8. So depending on types of method of study. A lot of time, longer time would be required if a person do, if they do programs which are actually formal in degree lah. So of course, some of the examination is in the public exam format, which can be also very much lengthy because of feeling easy in the first time to take the exam, but then come out as some papers are stuck, killer papers. So people tend to actually finish the exam in about 4 to 5 years. So end up plus the training time of about two years, and then the waiting time of another year, probably around 6 to 8 years. So generally, most people will take about 6 to 8 years. So that is the timing that is required. Of course, if you are from overseas, you come back from overseas and you are already registered overseas in the professional body that is recognized by the Board of Valuer Appraisals, Estate Agent and Property Managers Malaysia, then you may cut short a lot because of a lot of papers are repeated, so the exemption is given for whole parts or the whole registration goes direct to probationary estate agent. So only do the 2 years, or even some qualify as a valuer overseas. They come back, they just need to do 1 year estate agency work diary lah, and then go for an interview. So depending on how soon you pass the interview, a lot of people actually pass the interview in about one to half a year. So probably about 3 years, the person will be qualified with the license. So that is the general information the background of how this profession is, how to attend the qualification, the licensing of this examination and profession. So maybe just blow a bit more into detail. We talk about first to be registered as a candidate for the course, which can be a university course, a degree, or a professional course under RISM, Royal Institute of Surveyors Malaysia, the PMVS route, or register as a candidate student for Board of Valuer, Appraiser, Estate Agent and Property Manager, BOVIP Diploma in Estate Agency professional course, or you can go through other methods, which is including some of the methods used by others. Quite commonly heard is the diploma courses by some of the colleges, which are recognized by the board. And then the other one is the InSpan CGL, which is the certificate. So let me show you the bigger picture of this certificate. So this is the InSpan promotional leaflet. This is the InSpan promotional leaflet. I was in InSpan for visiting and then asking for advice. So the head of the program actually gave me this brochure lah. So a lot of our people actually go through this InSpan certificate in estate agency lah, which is recognized, and the 20 months training program, which is part-time. But then they only recruit a limited number under the training purpose, which is the negotiators. So full-timers, you can actually go for this program immediately after SPM. School leavers, they can sign up for this program as well. Then the government is giving encouragement for school leavers to join this course, and there is also some allowances being given. Apparently, bantuan makan of 20 ringgit sehari. So these types of encouragement for those who are having maybe the career path planned out for real estate industry can join this CGL program and then qualify in the future as an estate agent. So although InSpan also does other program like CGL, penilaian harta tanah, the valuation certificate, and also the property management certificate. These certificates are not yet recognized as a ticket for valuer license. So valuer license is only for degree. So let us just zoom in and continue this discussion for the estate agency side. So do the exams after having registered and sign up for the program. Do the exam, take the examinations, pass the examinations, complete the years of training. If it's full time, usually 3 years for the degree in university. And then after that, then join as a probationer, or in a case of estate agency, is probationary estate agent. But if you are qualified to be a valuer, then you can take up the probationary valuer position, training position in valuer firm, usually under a registered valuer, RV. And this registered valuer would sort of sign you in as a trainee and then eventually go for the interview, which is the TPC. So TPC is a system of post-exam qualifying interview. So this part of interview, in fact, is not just in Malaysia. In other countries, the TPC is conducted also for this type of profession in the UK. So in the UK, if you are qualifying for valuer license in the UK, you also need to attend the TPC in the setting in their own body. So in that sense, they want to ensure the candidate who is passing out as a registered valuer or registered estate agent has the ethical standard and then has a good standing for the profession. So this is a process. Then after having done so, given the license, E-license or a V license or a PM license, and then practice as a firm. So V license in Malaysia, the valuer license in Malaysia automatically gives a valuer the license to practice estate agency and property management. But then the degree that is recognized for valuer license is higher standard compared to the diploma for the estate agency. So diploma for estate agency or even the certificate in estate agency may only need less than 2 years, whereas a degree is a minimum of 3 years and a more specialized area of valuation studies. So generally, that is the picture on journey of about 6 to 7 years to get the estate agency practice license, or for a valuer probably also about that amount of time, but of course maybe even more, because the degree in the valuation is a longer period than a diploma. So that's likely the case. And then having said so, it is a lot of time challenge, not because of the course itself, but also because of the commitment in career and commitment in adult family life, where you have family commitments to take care of. So a lot of people drop off middle of the journey. So maybe after having signed up for the exam, but due to commitment in work, transfer, and all the other things, I end up not able to complete the exam. So this is a bit tough for most who are already in adult career life. Rather, if the juniors pass out from secondary school, they do a completely in-house full-time studies, then the passing out rate and also the passing out time is more certain. So I would just blow this out again. What is required for valuer license or estate agency license or the property management license? So is it a degree, a diploma, or certificate? So for valuer license, valuation license, it has to be a degree or professional qualification. And then the RISM PMVS qualification is a diploma. Although it's a diploma, its level is marked as even higher than some degrees. Estate agency, in fact, traditionally is part of study of estate management or real estate or surveying. So a lot of time people misunderstood estate agency as part of valuation. Actually, estate agency is not part of valuation. However, so estate agency tends to be broader in the sense that it's a day in, day out. It's not so technical as much as valuation demands for a valuer to give a valuation. It's technical calculations and a lot of aspect. Whereas for estate agency, it is not so technical. It's a lot of interaction with public and interaction with stakeholders. So a lot of talking and communication. Valuation is more like straightforward, calculation and taking measurement. The estate agency is negotiating for the deal. So a lot of time, the amount of techno requirement for valuation is of higher standard and higher detail compared to estate agency. Estate agency is more of arts, whereas valuation can means a lot of science and some maths. So therefore, estate agency in the terms of broader sense is actually a mixture of a few disciplines, including even economics, including even general knowledge. Whereas if you look at the diploma courses, which is quite broad, sometimes diploma courses is after secondary school, it's quite broad, whereas a degree course may be quite specific and quite detailed. So estate agency training, in fact, takes a lot of time in a broader sense, can be covered by diploma level. And then if there are people who pursue a degree in estate agency, well, they go through the level of broad diploma sense, but then they go into more deep area in the area of law maybe. Yeah. So property management is a new profession recognized by the board in 2017 and amendment to the act. So currently it's a degree, as in the sense that they are usually a degree in valuation or degree in estate management or property management, and then they actually do not yet have a diploma course conducted by the board as of today, because just about 1 year ago. So certificate level is only when it is conducted by InSpan. So the only certificate that is recognized by the board is the certificate of estate agency by InSpan for the admission to be a probationary estate agent. Right, the part on estate agency, I just want to summarize it in this picture. So this is a picture of 4 different areas which is involving the practice of an estate agent. One is the estate agency being a law-related thing. So there's a lot of study about law and regulation. Second is about ethics, a person looking himself in the practice of estate agency to see where his boundaries are. Then he works with his colleagues and friends and peers in a group of estate uh, agency practice, and also work with his stakeholders like developer in the sense supplier or set developer outside the firm, but then together working towards a common goal. So this is really the four aspect roughly about how the estate agency is looked into. Then the totality of it is to service the demand of dealings. Dealing means it can be rental, it can be sales and purchase, leasing for the purpose of real estate. And real estate in terminology should be immovable property. So if you have a house or you have a plantation, these are immovable. So immovable means something which is real. So there's the name real estate. So right, we go on the part of just a summary on the qualification required. First is a person can do a degree in real estate or property management or surveying or estate management for the general general degree that gives you the route to qualify as a valuer or qualify as a estate agent or as well as a property manager. Or if a person also can do a diploma by the Institution of Surveyors and PMVS diploma, which is qualifying the person as a valuer. So the person can choose not to do valuation but do estate agency. Number three is the diploma in estate agency. This is specific for estate agency practice. This diploma you cannot become a valuer. So you have to definitely a person who choose to do is estate agency diploma doesn't really probably do a valuation in this aspect of choosing the career. However, a person who is a practicing estate agent, registered estate agent with more than 5 years of field experience can apply to the board to sit for the TPC for valuation. Of course, the person need to be fully able in answering the valuation questions. So other than that, then there will be other similar to diploma estate agency types of qualification, like the certificate in estate agency by InSpan, or the executive diploma and diplomas conducted by a lot of colleges which are accredited by board of valuer, appraiser, estate agent and property managers. So this include UCSI, Imperial, Binary, TAR. TAR is Tunku Abdul Rahman University College. So I would like to just mention about these three major study methods. So the choice of your degree or diploma actually need to be considered in the light of types of mode of study, the mode of study that you prefer, especially for those who are already working adults. For the young, pass out for secondary school, probably the classroom full-time style will be the ideal because they are still young, so they have time to probably study for another 4 or 5 years, even up to postgraduate level before coming to the job market. But then for the adults who already runs a family and having commitment in career, then the full-time mode may not be viable and also may not be economically possible. So classroom style, there are many which are degree or diploma or certificate, as I mentioned just now. However, there are some which are only full-time, like some degree in a university is a 100% full-time mode. There is no part-time degree. Also, there is some diploma which is full-time diploma, but some which are actually conducted in a part-time basis for those adults who has commitment in the work. So they have to do part-time in the evening or according to the time of the lecturer and also in the weekends. Certificate usually is short courses. In the case of certificate in span, by doing it as a full time, then you are looking at like after secondary school, you go to study in span, and then it's a full time course, or you can do a part time crash course, which is conducted by InSpan also for the negotiator group of agents who are already in the job and now wanting to get the e-license. So for the research mod, which I have gone through, I did the diploma in estate agency, professional diploma by a research mod, meaning to say I don't go attend classes. I just do my own self-study. I do online search on the material. I use certain books that is available in bookstore, common bookstores like MPH or Popular. And then I do online search sometimes to get journals and article readings, reviews, and bulletin from developer as well. So these are things that at a higher level, especially postgraduate level, people tend to work on their own specific field. So research is a different level. In fact, research is very suitable and is in fact the only way for area of specialty which is new and rare. So of course you are probably the only person doing that particular topic on the research basis. So you do not actually have really a expert that teach you on such a topic. So that is why in the level of masters and PhDs, usually you have a mentor or some sort of facilitator or some sort of supervisor. But then the area of your own research may be very specific that there's not many who has done such a study. So you are probably spending the time in the whole region or in the whole world, just you yourself doing something like that. So therefore, doing research is a bit hard to get a result because you may not be able to get a result because nobody can tell you this way is the correct or the way is wrong. So at times doing research more in a level of higher level is inevitable lah. But then in the lower level like a diploma level or in certificate level, probably doing research is a bit waste of time. Because things have been done already by others, so just use whatever others has done to do it. No need to go and look for newer things. So that was the issue with research. If you choose to do research for any field of study, so that is a tough area to go in. Number three is a combination of both. A lot of time people tends to do classroom, and then after having failed some subjects, retake certain subjects, no more going back to the classroom. So they will do their own study or get from online modes. So there is a mixture of classroom and also research because they are using the previous notes from the classroom teaching and then do a bit more on the self-study method. So combination would be the ideal if you have the ideal because somebody gives you guidance and then you build on that something to improve on your own. Research mode, in fact, is not really for everyone because it is beating around the bush. So, and then you do not want to waste your time just because somehow you are not able to answer the questions and then therefore go and look for search for that answer and in the World Wide Web and end up you have maybe 20 to 30 articles to read. And then going through all those articles, trying to find what you want, at the end may not even be applicable in Malaysia setting. So this is the difficult part and also the teething part for research for this particular program. I did so because I was challenging myself. Rather, I would say most people would not need to do this because at the end, what you want is actually pass the exam and get the qualification. So doing a research mod on the diploma in estate agency for me was different now because I was looking for a challenge for myself and establish something which is able to help others in the future. So my estateagentexam.com is actually a compilation of all my research for the time that I spent more than 4 years in doing this diploma course. So most of the details is already in the website, and you have in one website most of the things that is required to do the exam. So in the long way, you actually learn more. However, so you probably also do not need to go through. If you can have someone who has done it and prepared for you to do it. So it's not like you want to maybe make a chicken soup. You go and rear a chicken from the egg. You go and buy an egg and then rear a chicken, and after that, until the chicken is ready for your cooking, you just go and buy the ready-made already from the farm rather than having to do everything from scratch. So research mode is different because research mode takes time and you need to be you have to have a lot of patience. Maybe one difficult question can cost 3 or 4 days or even a week of research and try to find out what exactly should be the answer. So that I went through. So now I hope for those who are studying for this diploma exam, my website could help to shorten the time. So this is my summary for the common routes. So you can have those who do a certificate by doing CEA from InSpan 20 months, about 8,000-9,000 ringgit, full-time or part-time. You also have those diploma mods from different colleges, also about 2 years. And then the cost can vary between 15,000 to 20 over thousand. So of course, during the good time when the market is doing so well, a lot of people go and do this course because by getting the license, they make money just by selling one or two properties. They can get back this money already. So third is by going for a full-time university degree, and usually this mod is for those who want to qualify as a valuer and then having chances of also qualify as a estate agent and property managers. But then the thing is that this mod it takes 3 to 4 years in the university, whereas the diploma mod, if a person just want to be an estate agent, then only go and study a degree and spend the time and money to qualify and end up just using the estate agency practice license. So public exam is for this particular slide is to explain to you that there are two public exam. One is diploma in estate agency, another one is the diploma of institution surveyors, which is the diploma level for professional diploma level for valuation. So that diploma level is actually a postgraduate diploma. So these two public exams are harder to pass, especially the PMVS diploma. So this is part-time because there is no institution that gives a professional exam and guarantee you a pass in a guaranteed way for passing a professional exam. That's why a lot of scholarships and a lot of companies they don't sponsor students for professional exam because professional exams are difficult to pass, and a lot of time you do not actually have uh, certainty in the timing to complete the course. So the financial support during the uncertainty is also unknown. So the scholarship or the financial aids that is given might not be uh, enough or might have to continue. So that is the problem. So if you also heard diploma courses shorter time, the finances is less, and then degree courses, especially professional degree courses, it can be few years, and then if a person is to do professional program, then scholarship and financial supports are not usually given because there is endless. The person cannot pass the exam endless years. The scholarship can have to have a certain amount of budget. Yeah, so that is the reason. So common roots also, I want to highlight the difficulties in managing the whole thing. This is not the difficulty of the exam or difficulty of the level of test. This is the difficulty of discipline and organizing your time for completing the study. So more of like certificate or diploma because they are usually in-house in a short period of time, 20 months or 24 months. Most people thank God can complete. Degree means you have to be 3 years and above. So some of this degree means harder lah, have to do thesis. Some of them actually have to write a lot more. Diploma is basically some just diploma for 2 years with some coursework, and then some even coursework for one semester, one coursework for one subject, something like that. Whereas in the case of public exam, difficulty is high because a person is not guided. A person is usually also on the working career, and therefore ability to complete the exam is a lot to do with discipline, a lot to do with own motivation. So at times a lot of people can't continue because they have other commitment and busy, especially the negotiators. They're making enough money, they're making good money, and they're actually thinking of making more money rather than passing the exam. So getting there is by doing coursework method. If you do sign up for diploma or a degree in a full-time mod, there are a lot of coursework, or part-time mod. Some of these are coursework. So therefore there's money lah. You need to pay money because why? You need to go there, attend the classes. You have to pay the lecturer pay for the electricity bill also. Whereas public exam like diploma in estate agency or the PMVS exam, you do it under your own motivation, your own time. You teach yourself. You actually look for material yourself. So there is no guidance. So there is less money also involved. So the total coursework by some of this degree or diploma can actually cost around 20,000 to 30,000. Whereas for example, for me to sit for the examination for the total number of years I sat for the examination, I actually spent less than 1,000 ringgit. Then after completion of this examination, the person sign up as a professional or professional estate agent. So as a trainee, you do work like a negotiator. You bring in business for the agency, and then you get a bit of sharing. And then they just continue as a negotiator. So they may end up joining different agency firm, bring business for the agency, and make their own cut in the estate agency practice. Estate agents in the case of a negotiator, usually are senior age, and then some of them actually are doing even better than the registered estate agent. So without having to study and able to earn equivalent or even more than a registered estate agent, that makes this study not really necessary to some of the estate negotiators. So what are things to do? These are the things that you may have to do. One is visualize your goal, set your goal. You really want to do it long term, because real estate is a long term thing. People tends to only know you when they need to buy or they need to sell or need to rent their property, and usually people do not do this every day. So you need time for people to really remember you. Second is to really try and qualify early so that you pass your exam when you are able to do so. When you are busy, you don't have time to study. So you will never actually have the time to go to classes also if you are busy. And then also in the starting of the real estate career, you can have challenges like income uncertain. You have a case where people may have no listing, no job for a while, 2 or 3 months, and then sometimes too many negotiator in certain region or area of practice, like say in the kampong, so many negotiator, and then you have the illegal ones also. So end up the business is shared out among all, so the chances is getting less and less because competition is getting higher and more. So I probably want to just remind that estateagentexam.com is an online self-study website for diploma in estate agency exam conducted by the board of valuers, appraisers, estate agents, and property managers. You can get me at these few websites. JustLetakProperty.com. I will want to do more video in JustLetakProperty.com and also contract to you for the different ideas that I already started in this area. Thank you so much. Let's move on with more videos in the future. Thank you. Bye-bye.